Good evening, morning, afternoon to everyone who has signed in today and to the millions of viewers who will watch this later. My name is Dhruv Sahai and I serve as the Chief Operating Officer at Kapil AI. For all of you who are attending our epic webinar for the first time, Kapil is the world's largest radiology AI platform and marketplace with one mission: democratizing healthcare. And we seek to do this by enabling radiologists the world over to have access to the most amazing AI solutions that exist out there. Which brings me to our guest for today. I'm pleased to welcome Aisa Khalifa, the CEO of Milview, today at Unboxing AI. Aisa has had a very fascinating career path spanning from enabling public health initiatives to pharma to consulting. And now I will move away from hogging the limelight and I'll let Aisa elaborate more on his incredible journey. Aisa, the stage is all yours.
Oh, thank you. Hello, everybody. So this is the afternoon in Paris when I am currently, but I usually stay in Montreal, living in Montreal, and this is also the afternoon in Montreal and the evening in Delhi. So thank you for inviting me to this exciting webinar. So I'm a seasoned executive, as I can say. I'm 66 now, and I started my career in healthcare in the French civil service as an executive in charge of the reimbursement of healthcare procedures for the French National Social Security. And at that time, I had the occasion of launching a wonderful process of changes in the world of medical imaging. And this was my first contact with medical imaging. We were doing much more savings than expected, and we had some money left. So we decided to subsidize or to incentivize the creation of digital imaging. It was in 1991. Can you imagine? And in less than 3 years with this program, the French radiology has switched from analogic to digital imaging. It was a major accomplishment and a positive accomplishment led by Social Security. Um, I did a lot of things in the world of medical imaging, but before joining Milview, my final position was the head of sales and business development in Agfa Healthcare when I had the opportunity to launch a wonderful product called Enterprise Imaging. I think that you do know quite well this product at Carpel. And had the opportunity of working with several projects of artificial intelligence, and I start looking for enterprise which could be a good fit for Agfa Healthcare. And one of them was Milview. And finally, when my division in Agfa was sold to a third party, I decided to leave this company, and Milview offered me the position of CEO. So this was my first start with my first real start in practice with artificial intelligence. I've been doing this since 2020 now.
Wow, Aisa, that's quite an incredible journey, huh? From consulting to public health initiatives to pharma. And interestingly, I was browsing through Milview's website, and I often get asked this question by radiologists that would AI replace us? And I did promise my marketing team that I'm going to do a LinkedIn post on that shortly. So maybe your insights can help me draft that better. But so Milview believes that AI does not replace radiologists; it makes them irreplaceable. Tell me more about this, Isa.
Oh, yes. In 2016, Jeffrey Hinton, a Canadian specialist of AI, said it's no longer of interest to train radiologists because AI will have replaced them. And we all thought at that time that it was something which was feasible. And proof now, reality has proven that radiologists are totally irreplaceable. But what AI can bring is to becoming an augmented radiologist, saving times on some procedures which can be partially automatized, gaining accuracy on some other procedures. We know that AI has usually a higher sensitivity than radiologists, probably a much lower specificity, but it can help them to go to faster, to work better, and to focus on activities where their expertise is really needed. If we take the emergency workflow, it's very hard for a radiologist to read in real time X-rays, but probably 50 to 70% of X-rays which are produced in an emergency department are normal, and some of them are obviously positive. So the case in which radiologist expertise is critical in real time amount probably to 3 to 5% of this workflow. And this is why AI can help sorting this case, giving the emergency physician the opportunity to request expertise in real time and not on batch time, and improving the overall workflow. This is why we say that this will not replace radiologists. Definitely, as long as we can foresee the use of AI, this will not replace radiologists, but the place of AI besides radiologists will increase in coming years undoubtedly.
Interesting. I do have the same belief. I feel, Isa, if radiologists adopt AI, they become irreplaceable. I mean, it is more of an enabler than a replacement technology of sorts. But tell me, so I mean, you have multiple solutions, AI solutions at Millview. Uh, why don't you tell us more about these solutions, and how do you see these, coming into play in radiologists' workflows, and how do you see this actually, improving efficiency or assisting the radiologists in perhaps, being able to look at more scans each day?
Okay. Uh, if we start by the beginning, in Millview, we created between 2018 and 2020 an AI which was dedicated to the emergency workflow. And why did we work on the emergency workflow? Because in most countries, the emergency X-rays are not read in real time by radiologists, which leaves the emergency physicians by themselves, and they have not been trained for such reading. So this means that there are two factors. First, there is an important error rate between 3 and 12% in the literature. And in one of the scientific studies we performed, the discrepancies between the clinical opinion of the emergency physician and the final opinion of the radiologist was 9.7%. So this generates false negative, patients getting out without the proper diagnostic, and false positive, patient being overtreated. This is the first point. The second point is if a radiologist wants to read all X-rays, he will spend some time which is probably less useful than focusing on CT scans, on ultrasound, on our MRI, where it cannot be challenged. So what we did is we provided a real-time solution on this workflow to help emergency physician to make triage, to discharge patient quicker, to increase their accuracy by a significant percentage, and to help radiologists read these X-rays on a batch procedure, usually 24 to 48 hours. But what we've been demonstrating is that, one, this is efficient. Two, this generates time for radiologists. And, um, and three, there's no significant problems for patient safety. We have one site which has been up and running in the region of Montreal, Lake George General Hospital, and the chief radiologist made recently a public statement in a conference, and he stated that since there has been the implementation of AI 1 year ago, there has not been a single missed fracture in the emergency workflow. So this means that there has not been any relocation of patient, no patient left without treatment, and this has facilitate the daily life of radiologists because they can read uh, X-ray when they want, when they have time. So this is why we focused initially on this target, and we offer a solution for MSK traumas issues, so fracture, dislocation, joint effusion, which is the most commonly missed lesion in pediatric X-rays, but also on chest, so pneumothorax, pleural effusion, which are clearly trauma chest issues, and also detection of nodules and opacities, which are usually less traumatic, but critical at some point of time. So we cover this full scope. On top of this, we also cover orthopedic measurements. So not in all countries, we do not have yet the FDA clearance for our orthopedic measurements, but hopefully this will be done very soon. And we also launched something which is of a major interest, which is an integrated solution for reporting. So it's now in clinical use in France and in French. It has been localized in English, and it will be piloted in the third quarter in North America. This is our scope. We have other products under development in CT scan and MRI, but currently they have not been cleared anywhere.
Wow, that's a lot of incredible work that's happening at Millview. Sorry for everyone watching. I mean, please feel free to ask questions. The whole idea of the webinar is for you to, be able to ask questions to our guests. So go ahead in the Q&A box, ask your questions, and we'll try our best to take them. Isa, of course, I have a long list of questions. I can go on all night, but we have only 30 minutes. I mean, I do know that you worked in national health with the French government. I know that you worked with the reimbursables. And, it would be very interesting to get your take on where do you see reimbursements going in terms of AI adoption? Well, broadly in healthcare, and then maybe more specifically towards medical imaging?
So there are, well, let's start with the beginning. Developing an AI solution is very costly. It costs between 1 and several million euros, depending, or dollars, depending on the solution. And this means that there is an end user cost, which is of course proportionate to the size of the market. So this gives two different types of AI solution. Some of them will have a mass market. The solution we offer for the emergency workflow are typically mass market solution, and they have to demonstrate a proper return on investment. So this is a work that we've been doing and that will be published in coming months, demonstrating an effective return on investment by the implementation of AI. Some other AI solutions which are focused on clinically very interesting problematics, but issues, but with a limited scope, cannot demonstrate easily such return on investment, and this is probably the one that will require some reimbursement. So we know that a lot of public agencies are looking after this reimbursement and are challenging themselves on how can we pay for AI. You need to know that the market forecast for AI generate some figures which are even higher than the total RIS and PAX market in the world. So in some years from now, hospital will spend more on AI than on their usual tool. That means that there is a reimbursement issue because it's very unlikely that public agency will pay um, simply on demand. So we need to figure which are the opportunities of demonstrating a return on investment and if we can do this. And this is some job which needs to be done by both AI vendors like Milvue and by AI platform like Carpel, uh, because there will be a lot of AI which will be bundled in hospital, and this will generate an extra cost for hospital, which must be covered in some way. So either by reduction of other costs in the overall workflow or by subsidies or financing reimbursement by healthcare agencies. But this is a very complicated issue. I don't think that reimbursement as such is the only way to facilitate the adoption of AI. Of course, when it's reimbursed, it's easier. There's no question about that. But if we consider that there might be a challenge on reimbursement, um, there might be a challenge on reimbursement, then we need to find other ways of financing.
I'm given to believe that, I know there is the Germany government, which has now, looked at reimbursing mammograms, and the US government plans to follow suit soon. Um, do you see any such things happening in Canada, in France? And what other use cases do you think will we see reimbursements coming in, to begin with?
Oh, I think neuro solution for neuroradiology might be a proper a proper ground for launching reimbursement. I think also that some opportunistic findings, opportunistic detections, the use of AI to find additional findings on top of a given exam, for instance, findings. Or you use a CT scan to try to measure some parameters such like bone densities, etc. This could be eligible for reimbursement. Mammography, of course, will be eligible for reimbursement. Um, I'm very doubtful that the solution we currently have in portfolio will be eligible for reimbursement. Maybe automatic measurements, because it saves a lot of time, it improves the accuracy of the diagnostic, and it facilitates the follow-up of surgical procedures. So this might be also a good candidate for reimbursement, but honestly, MSK and chest X-rays AI solution will not, in my opinion, be a good one. I'd love to, but I don't think there might be such a big challenge, financial challenge for public authorities to reimburse such procedures. And the worst will be that they finally decide to reimburse it with a very extremely low rate, which will be under our under our cost, because this will definitely kill all these applications. So let's work on reimburse, getting some application reimbursed and demonstrating the return on investment on some others, and this will be probably the best way.
Yeah, it looks like it's a move in the right direction. I mean, it will definitely open up the industry, and it'll definitely, be a big leap towards AI adoption. Looks like we have a question from Dr. Suresh Mukherjee. Hi, Dr. Mukherjee. It's been a while. He asks, do you adjust pricing based on differences in currency values between countries?
Um, yes and no. Yes, of course, we try to adapt to the market situation, so the ability of the payer, the return on investment that the AI will generate to the customers. So yes, we definitely adapt the prices, and then we have also issues on the on our cost by itself, which necessitate to maintain a given level of prices. But yes, there might be some difference, and it's not abnormal that rich country may pay for the use of AI in less rich countries. I mean, if we want
Great.
to, if there's probably one place where AI would be extremely useful, it's all low developed country, lower developed country, where there's almost no radiologist, where there are a few imaging facilities in rural areas. And then, of course, it cannot be charged the same as it would be for a general hospital in the US.
Great. I think I'm having some technical difficulties with my video, but we can go on. You can hear me, right?
Yes, yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Okay, great. I think the idea is for everyone to see you, so it's fine. No, interesting. So tell me something. I mean, I know, I mean, probably deviating from what we've been discussing, but what made you choose? What made you choose AI? I mean,
Uh,
why the move from pharma into medical imaging AI?
Well, I've always been, when I was working for the pharma industry, I was in a specific, I was working for a managed care division of a large pharma company. So I was always interested in IT, in innovation. I've been a member of the economic work group of the telemedicine world society. So innovation has always been a part of my a major part of my interest. And when I was selling packs and EMRs, I saw the emergence of AI solution. And then decided that it could be a very good target. But when I joined Milview, I joined a company with four founders which were under 30, which were all of them having PhDs, and which were at a level of knowledge uh, of AI which was far beyond my capacity of understanding. So before joining, I took a very interesting summer school at MIT in order to not be able to develop. I will never be able to develop AI solution, but to understand what we were talking about. And working with them has been very challenging and very also very good continuous training solution, because I always ask them, can you explain me what you are doing? When we first talk about foundation models or LLMs, it was long before the public appearance of ChatGPT, and and they took some time to explain to me what were the issues, what were the challenges, and what were also the possible benefit of such things. So I've been really trained by those young engineers or radiologists. And this is an amazing sector. I mean, if I go back 5 years from now, such an important amount of things have changed. We are talking now about foundation model. This will probably, at some point of time, change dramatically the look and the organization of AI in medical imaging. But in the same time, that will raise enormous challenge to certification bodies such as FDA or Health Canada or the CMDR process, because they are now developing they are now certifying vertical solution, asking with a lot of details, challenging studies, and then at some point of time they will have to decide to certify a foundation model which will cover potentially everything without, of course, having the possibility to generate studies on everything prior to the certification. So how will we be doing that as vendors? How the certification bodies will be doing that? How will platforms react to vendors which will be able to propose a larger scope? These are tremendous opportunities and fascinating questions which are not yet answered.
No, yes. I mean, I think this is definitely something that's going to change and revolutionize the world, and I'm glad you believe so too. So, so no, that's insightful. Now, when you talk about regulatory clearances, you touched upon regulatory clearances. How are you seeing them evolve in terms of I know it's a very complex task to get a regulatory clearance, and it differs from region to region. How do you see yourself navigating those challenges with the solutions that Millview offers?
Ah, okay. The first thing is that there is some kind of inequality between the different certification body entities. For instance, if you do a scientific study in Europe to get the CMDR mark, and you cannot reuse this scientific study in the US to get the FDA clearance. Uh, but if you do the initial study in the US, and if it's well designed, you can use it in Europe to get your CE marked. So at some point of time, it has become more interesting to start with a clearance in on the US market. Also, it's difficult, but it has become more interesting to start with this to be able to generate additional clearance, Health Canada or CE mark. The issue that we will have, all of us, is linked to the recent cuts in FDA staff made by the Trump administration. So, if it is confirmed, this will probably impact the ability of the FDA to manage as fast as they used to do new solutions. It might lengthen the time to go to market, and for us, for AI vendors, the time of the go-to-market time is critical because we invest, as mentioned, millions of dollars in the development, and each year which is lost on the go-to-market time has a tremendous impact on our P&L. So we don't really know what will be the future.
Yes, I think we have one more question. I think we have just enough time to take this, and it's by Dr. Suresh Mukherjee again. So, in the US and Korea, the FDA locks the product once it's sold. Are there countries that allow continuous learning of the product algorithms?
Yes and no. Well, it's not exactly true in the US. You have the opportunity when you make your submission to forecast future changes and to get some kind of pre-approval on the future changes of the product. You can also design the product in such a way the product submission in such a way that it will allow for minor to medium changes, not, of course, major changes. Uh, In Europe, you work with notified bodies, so third-party bodies, and depending on the relation you have with the third-party bodies, and depending on the way you submit your claims, you can get some minor modification accepted without the whole process. Um, but at some point of time you have to you have to resubmit if you are making a major evolution.
Interesting. I think Aisa, now we are at time. I don't. I mean, I apologize that you had to do the later half of this webinar as looking at a blank space because of
Oh,
this error with my camera. But no, thank you so much. For taking out the time and for coming on Kapil's Unboxing AI. It's been a pleasure having you. And also, thank you everyone listening in. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn to get regular updates. Aisa, until next time, au revoir, and I'll see you soon in Paris.
okay. See you soon in Paris, and thank you for inviting me, and thank you all for listening to me. And if you have additional question, feel free to ask me directly or via the Carpel team, and I will try to answer them as clearly as possible. And have a nice day, afternoon, or evening, depending on where you're located. Bye bye.
Thank you, Aisa. Bye bye.